Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com, dwyervip.com. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. Now, I'm nursing the worst cold I have had in several years. My whole family has been pretty much wiped out here this President's weekend. So bear with me. I know my voice is not the same. Quite frankly, I'm lucky to be awake. Really a bad cold. Let's talk about this Adrien Broner, Adrian Granados fight. You know, I made a pre-fight video here online where I picked Broner to win the fight. And by the way, let me say this. I thought Broner did win the fight. Right? I thought Broner closed strongly. But so much of boxing is mental. As I watched the beginning of the fight, the first third of the fight, rooting for Broner, the situation developed where there was a clear path. And I mean clear. Clearer than the background here in this video. There was a clear path for victory for Adrian Granados. He comes out, he plays to the crowd on the way into the ring. He gets in the ring, and then you notice he's taller than Broner. When he's on his back foot, using lateral movement, moving around the ring, Broner had no answers, right? None. Now here's where the mental side of boxing takes over. Here's where emotions can get in the way. I know these two men have a history. Apparently they run together at times. Granados had served as Broner's chief sparring partner before the Marcus Maidana fight. Granados, in the pre-fight talk, felt that he got the better of Broner in some of those sparring sessions. No doubt Granados was the guy looking at the known fighter, the four-time champion. And Granados was the outsider thinking, I'm as good as that guy. In fact, I'm better than that guy. I can beat that guy at his own game. Adrien Broner in the pocket, I can hang. I can hang with Adrien Broner in the pocket. In fact, I can beat Adrien Broner in the pocket. So, of course, Granados gives away the fight. Folks, he could have won this fight 7-3. Let's talk boxing styles here for a minute. If you're a fighter and you're in the first, second round, and you find out that in the natural flow of the fight, you're throwing much more volume than the other guy. The other guy's a defensive fighter who needs to be close to you to be effective. You're outside, staying away from the pocket. You're not close enough to get hit with check left hooks and stuff like that. And you're just shooting a jab. You're outside. You're not trying to get close enough to even throw hooks. You're shooting a jab. You're shooting a straight right hand. And you're out throwing the other guy. The other guy who's shorter is trudging around the ring, trying to catch up with you. And you're able to back up, get up on your toes, do a little dance, play to the crowd. Now, if you had the discipline of a Huey Fury, right, of guys who stick and move, the fight would be over. It was only a 10-round fight. Adrien Granados starts fast. Broner could barely move. right? It's shocking. All the guy had to do was stay outside. His corner should have told him. You're throwing more punches than Broner. Don't make this an in-the-pocket fight. Fight this one from outside the pocket. You don't have to trade with Broner. Lead with power shots. Your jab setting up so much that you don't even have to land the power shots. In other words, if I'm outside and I'm throwing a jab and it's landing, right? It's like, right? It's landing. I could go for broke on a few long right hands, right? Think Deontay Wilder. I could just throw a few long right hands. If they miss, that's okay because the judges have already seen the accuracy of my jab. They've already seen me dictating the fight. The other guy's trying to close the distance on me. I'm not trying to close the distance on him. Right? If you land any of these power shots from distance, right? It could even be a lunging left hook, right? You're hitting the guy with jabs. You just lunge in from distance. Floyd Mayweather, lunging left hook. If you land a power shot from distance, get back out. Right? If you land a power shot from distance, that's just confirmation to the judges who've already seen you out-jab and outmaneuver the guy, that you're the more effective fighter. Now, what I want people to do here is to think about Mayweather against Robert "The Ghost" Guerrero, right? Mayweather, master in the pocket. Mayweather could stand right in front of Juan Manuel Marquez and handle everything he had in the pocket. But yet against the Ghost, he understood. The Ghost, bigger puncher, bigger man. Mayweather's moving around the ring, isn't he? The fight Mayweather fights against Robert "The Ghost" Guerrero, which Adrian Granados could have fought. You see flashes of it. Would have won Granados this fight by a 7-3 margin. But there's a difference between a fighter who can show up the day of the fight, see what works, and scale it. Right? There's a difference between that guy and a guy like Adrian Granados, who isn't there to win the fight. He's actually there on a mission to prove to Adrien Broner that he can beat Broner at his own game. Didn't work. When he's not in the pocket, he's winning the fight. Let's just keep it simple. But for some reason, you knew that Adrian Granados could not stay away from the pocket. So it's so bad, he's leaping in. Broner is timing check left hooks. In other words, this is almost like Floyd against Ricky Hatton. Right? Broner knows this guy is going to leap in. Right? Granados' vision of boxing has too much testosterone. Right? The other guy can't keep up with you when you're on a back foot, flashing a jab, throwing an occasional right hand. You're actually throwing far more punches than him. You're moving around the ring. That's not enough. He has to come in the pocket. Let me tell you, if you're a fighter, and I said this in the pre-fight video, if you're a fighter who needs to come in the pocket to try to bum rush Adrien Broner, you're going to lose time and time again. Broner is a master. He is a defensive wizard. There are moments in this fight where Broner is leaning on Granados. By the way, that's a tip-off that Granados already is fighting the wrong fight. He's so close to Broner that Broner's leaning on it, right? And I'm just telling you, in about 90% of those exchanges, only one guy is landing the clean punches. And it's Broner, and it's Broner by design. We didn't even see the best Broner, right? Broner breaks a hand early. But I'm just telling you, Adrien Broner is the kind of guy who shortens careers. I know Al Bernstein and Paulie Malignaggi and Morrow on the telecast were saying, hey, Broner's not the puncher at this weight that he is at 135 or 140, right? I beg to differ, right? Broner's surgical. Broner hits you on very short punches. So you're up on Broner and you're getting hit with hardcore uppercuts. Now, it might not translate on television the way it should, but understand Broner's getting his entire body into it. He's the kind of guy who can hit you with an uppercut that travels this far. Now, I know tough guys like Adrian Granados take the shot and look like, hey, I've taken the shot. Inside his head, his brain's rattling. I believe this fight took at least a year off of his career. What he was doing in the pocket, I don't have a clue. I came to watch Adrien Broner fight. I was rooting for Broner. I realized early on Broner was in danger of losing. And then I saw Adrian Granados give the fight away. This would be like watching Floyd Mayweather against Robert the Ghost Guerrero. And Floyd's moving around the ring early, and you say to yourself, oh man, Ghost can't track him down. Ghost just doesn't have the center of gravity to travel with him. And then suddenly Floyd decides, you know what? Robert and I have a history. I need to show Robert that I'm the man in the pocket. So then Floyd decides to just abandon what's working, simply because in his mind, it's not a victory unless he mentally breaks his opponent. Right? Now, I'll say this about Adrien Broner. You're going to have a very hard time. And I mean this. Keep in mind, I'm somebody who took Sean Porter over Broner. You're going to have a very hard time finding a more skilled man deep in the pocket than Adrien Broner. That's his game. That's his neighborhood. If you're going to walk deep into the pocket, you're going to find yourself getting hit with the flush shots. The flush shots that Granados gets hit with in the 9th and 10th rounds. Right? 10-round fight, you come out, the other guy can't travel with you. Your foot speed's far greater than the other guy's foot speed. You're landing more punches. Who wouldn't dance for the first 6, 7 rounds? Bank some rounds. Win the fight. To gamblers, let me close by just saying, bet on the guy who wants to win the fight. Right? I know that sounds real simple, doesn't it? But if your guy's not the kind of guy who starts a fight, sees an easy path to success, and then doesn't say to himself, you know what? Maybe there's a crowd that'll think I'm running. But hell, I need this win. Some people have bet money on me to win this fight. Let me go get this win. Right? If your guy's not that guy, if your guy's somebody else who shows up and feels that he's been dissed his entire life And this is gonna be his opportunity to make some kind of point about his skills deep in the pocket. You bet on the wrong horse. So to close, let me just say this. I took Broner in this fight and was shocked at the mismatch from the outside. Right? Granados is even landing more punches. Right? He's landing more punches. So here I was watching a fight where I was way off. And at the end of the fight, Granados was right where I wanted him to be. More importantly, he was right where Adrien Broner wanted him to be. Give Broner the win. No, I'm not giving my money back to the casino. Just understand that Broner beat Granados mentally. Right? A huge part of the sport is mental. That's how I see it. Let me hear from you. I hope you leave your comments in the comment section to this video. Thanks for stopping by.